Hey, okay, so my dream. So at this point in my life, I'm like 25, 26 years old, and I'm feeling very grateful for the opportunity to start over. I was married to a man that I loved very much, and we had one baby, and we were having we planned a new baby, and thank God we got pregnant right away. And yeah, like everything was like back on track. Um, but I was dealing with chronic pain and starting to see things, creepy stuff happening in the house, and I wasn't getting any sleep. And then I was having these weird nightmares or visions or actually seeing things. I think I really saw it. I feel like I saw it. I don't feel like I was dreaming. I feel like I was just didn't feel like a dream. So then I did have a dream, and this was a total dream. So in this dream, I was going to Mexico, and we used to go to vacation in Mexico over by Puerto Vallarta, and the water is really beautiful. So in my dream, I knew I was going to this beach resort. And the one that I wanted to go to was absolutely beautiful. And it was oceanfront hotel. And I just knew that it was, I knew which one I wanted to go to. I didn't know what it was called. And I didn't have like an address for it, but I knew where I was going, and I could see the map in my head, like how it sat, how the hotel was like parallel to the beach, and so it was beachfront. And so I go on this trip, and I get there. I get to Mexico, and we get to this vacation spot. But the way that it's set up is that you can't see the ocean. It felt kind of like a Vegas hotel where it was huge, like this huge building, a huge hotel, but set up sort of like a building across, and then a hotel pool in the middle, and then it was sort of like the pool was sandwiched by two long, tall buildings. And so the first building was like a cabana type where you can go to a restaurant. It was just like a restaurant lounge area, like one story. And then there was a huge pool outside, like huge, like Vegas style, huge. And so when we got there, I saw everybody splashing. Like I got there and we got to the middle, like the courtyard area. And I saw everybody splashing around, and I saw my cousins there, and I was surprised because I wasn't expecting to see them. And I saw a lot of my family members there, and then a lot of strangers, and they were all in the pool, and everybody was having a great time. And they were splashing around, and there was umbrellas everywhere, and like lounge areas where you can sit where you're in the pool, but you're sitting on a step, so it's kind of like a lounger in the pool. Everybody splashed around, having a great time, and it was a beautiful pool, really big. And then on the other side of the pool was the super tall hotel. And so I kept saying, like, that's cool. And they're like, come on in, Vanessa, like, come and hang out with us. And I'm like, that's cool, but this is like, that's not my hotel. Like, I'm not staying here because I want the oceanfront one. And they're like, there is no oceanfront one. Like, this is the hotel. And everybody was saying, you don't know, like, this is the only one. Like, you're here. And I'm like, no, I'm not done yet. Like, this is not where I'm going. I'm supposed to go to the oceanfront one. And they're like, oh, you're so difficult. Like, this is the only one. Don't you get it? And I said, no, like, it must be around. And I kept trying to, like, go down and, like, look around. But you couldn't see anything. the hotel part of it where the rooms were, it was just too big. It was like this huge wall. And I felt it. I said, no, but the ocean's on the other side. I feel it. I feel like I know where I am and I know where I'm trying to go, but I don't see the access point. Like, I don't see how I can get there. And everybody kept telling me, like, there is nothing on the other side of the hotel. I said, that's not right. That's not right. I saw the map. I kept saying over and over, I saw the map. I saw the map. The ocean's on the other side. And my hotel is on the other side. And they're like, how are you going to get there? What other side? Like, just stop being difficult, get your stuff, and come hang out with us. Like, why are you being so weird? I'm not being weird. So then I didn't go in the water. Instead, I went inside to the cabana, like the, it's like a, I don't know, like a little lounge area where you picture like little drinks and stuff like that. Not alcoholic, but just a lounge, like if you were somewhere, I don't know, where you picture somebody wearing like straw hats. And so anyway, I went inside and to ask, like, maybe the people who worked there like knew where this other hotel was, because my family was being no help. And so then I go in there and I see the most beautiful man sitting in one of the chairs. He was just sitting there, and he was so beautiful. He was dressed all in white, and he was wearing a hat, and he looked like he was wearing like a white linen suit, but like not a heavy suit, but like a vacation, old school vacation, white linen, elegant outfit. And I couldn't see his face. And I saw him and I said, oh my God, it's Jesus Christ. I said, he's here. So I went to go sit next to him. And I took the seat next to him, and he was just, I could just feel the warmth. I could feel like he was a very warm, gentle, beautiful person. And I couldn't see his face because the way I was looking, I couldn't see his face. But he was wearing a hat, and it was covering his eyes, and I could kind of see. Maybe I could see his mouth. I definitely couldn't see his face and the way his head was, but I knew it was him. And so I sat down next to him and I said, I'm going to talk to him. And I didn't feel good enough to talk to him. And I could see, like I could feel him and his words. And I saw him, I guess I could see his mouth because I could kind of see him like smile just a little bit. Like he knew I wanted to talk to him. And I felt like he was encouraging me to talk to him. But the thing is, like, he was going to talk to me, but I needed to initiate the conversation. I needed to say, I needed to start. And he would talk to me. And so I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's here. I can't believe he's here. And I was so happy to see him. And I was like, royalty. I want to talk to him. And finally I got the courage. I said, okay. I could feel it. Like, just start, Vanessa. Just start talking to me and I will talk to you. Just start. And so then I was about to. And then as soon as I went to open my mouth, my cousin came and sat down next to me. And she just like flopped down next to me, like real violent. She just like flopped down right next to me. So it was, she sat on my side. And then she's like, oh man, Vanessa, wasn't that party great last night? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And she goes, oh my God, that was crazy. that was crazy. And she started describing the most wicked, vile party. And I was mortified. And I got really mad. Because what are you talking about? Like, because I was like, you're, like, she was lying, like she was embarrassing me in front of Jesus Christ. And she's like, yeah, I remember this and remember this. And I was like, no. And I was about to say no. I was thinking no. And I was about to say no. And I'm like, why are you lying? And I was about to call her a liar. But before I did, I could see what she was talking about. I could see what she was talking about. And I could see that she was telling the truth. And she was describing all these awful things. But I saw myself do. I was there. I did do it. And I said, oh God, did I do that? And I couldn't call her a liar. And I couldn't get mad at her because she was telling the truth. And I don't know if it was like some weird thing, like I hadn't done it yet. But she wasn't lying. And then my face completely fell. And I was so mortified and so sad. And I saw her and she was smiling. And then she got up and left. So she just came over, sat down just to humiliate me. And to say loud, really loud in front of Jesus Christ, all these things. And then when I realized that she wasn't lying and that I had done those things, I thought she was lying, but I could see it. I could see that she was telling the truth. I said, oh my God, I can't believe it. Did I do that? Did I do that? How did I do that? When did I do that? But I could see myself doing it. And I felt so much shame. And I just like hung my head. And Jesus had heard our conversation. And he didn't say anything. And he wasn't mean at all. He didn't change. He didn't change. He did not change. The beauty that I saw when I walked in and saw him was still there. But I changed. My face just fell and I got up and I left. I can't talk to him. I'm not worthy. So I got up and I left, and then I was so sad. I was so sad. And I was about to like, I don't know, I just like was overwhelmed with sadness. And then as soon as I said that, they're like, I hear somebody say, hey, your husband's looking for you. And I said, Mike's here? And I was shocked. And all of a sudden I wasn't sad anymore. I was like shocked that he was here. And then he was waiting on me. And I didn't want him to get mad and get frustrated. But it was weird because I wasn't expecting him. He didn't go on vacation with me to Mexico ever. And so I don't know why I would have known that he was there. He was just there. And so all of a sudden I got really nervous about leaving him waiting. So I went running to go find him. He said, he's waiting for you. And so he wanted us to go check in to the room. So I went and saw him. I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm so sorry. I kept saying, are you hungry? Like, do you want this? Do you want that? And I was all of a sudden completely forgot about the fact that I just got up and walked away from Jesus Christ. I got up, walked away from Jesus Christ, completely felt shame and sad and overwhelmed. And then my husband was there, and I went running to my husband. And so I didn't want to leave him waiting. So I left Jesus Christ there so that I didn't go. I should have gone back. And I don't remember if I wanted to go back or not. I don't remember, but I didn't even have a chance to, because as soon as I walked out and I was overwhelmed, then my husband was there, and then it was like, oh, gotta go take care of him. I don't want him to get mad. And so I went with him, said, okay, like, let's go check in. And so we went, and the people said, if you want me to take you to your room? And I said, yes, please. So then they take us up to the room, and they walk us up into this room, and it was a beautiful room. But I said, it's not my room. And they said, yeah, this is your room. And it looked all nice. And then my husband went into the bathroom. And then when he was in the bathroom, I went to look on I said, what is this? And so I picked up his wallet that was on the dresser in between the two beds. And I picked up the wallet to look for, like, what number is this? Like, what room number is this? Like, why are they saying that this is our room? Like, I didn't set this up. Like, I know I didn't set this up. And they're like, no, this is your room. And so they left us there. And then my husband went into the bathroom. And then I went over to look at the dresser to see, like, where are we? Like, what is this? And there was a phone there too, I think. And so I picked up the wallet, and I looked, and as I picked up the wallet, my husband walked back out of the bathroom, and he saw me with the wallet. And then he had this, like, look on his face, like, I caught you. And I was like, no, I wasn't going through your wallet. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't go through people's things. And he's like, yeah, right, okay, sure. And he was saying, like, sure. And I'm like, no, really, I wasn't going through your wallet. And I got all, like, mortified. And he was amused. And then he went to go sit on the bed. And then I was like, he's not going to believe me. So then I go into the bathroom. And I'm in the bathroom, and it had this, like, beautiful wallpaper everywhere. And the room was really nice. But then when I was in there, all of a sudden I saw the walls peeling. The walls started rotting, burning, peeling. It's disgusting. It was like melting, peeling. It was warping off the walls. And so the beautiful new hotel was rotting. It was living. The walls were living, and they were rotting. So I started screaming, and then I walked out of the room, and then I said, this is not my room. This is not my room. And my husband was like, what? I was like, this is not my room. And so then I ran out of it, because I looked everywhere, and the room, he was just there like it was normal, but I could see that it was all just decaying rot. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm sorry. It's the walls were peeling. It just looked like flesh, burning, rotting, but it was on the walls. And so I ran out of that room, and I left him in there. And I ran out, and I said, this is not my room. This is not my room. And I ran out, and I went out towards the pool. And then I saw everybody splashing around the pool again. But this time, the pool was like yellow, brown. Ugh, it was gross. So they were actually swimming in, like, pee and filth. Everybody was in there swimming in filth. And I was like, oh my God, like, look at what they're swimming in. It was so, and everybody kept saying, come on in, the water's great, the water's great. And I was like, I was like freaking out. So everybody's thinking I'm crazy because it looks beautiful to them, but to me, it was filthy. Like, like swimming in a toilet. So gross. And so I went running, and I was like, I knew this wasn't my hotel. I knew I wasn't crazy. I know that there's another one on the side. How do I get there? So I ran into another part of the hotel, and I went running, and I was hoping to go through the hotel, inside one, and end up on the other side. That's what I was hoping for. And I knew the ocean was on the other side, but I just couldn't get there. So I went into the hotel, and then I tried to go through, but it took me up some stairs, and I ended up going up the stairs, and I walked in, and I saw my mom sitting on this long table, and she was there with all of her sisters and her brothers, and they were all yelling at her. So they were all around her. Everybody was yelling and screaming at her, and they're like just violent, like yelling, like thrashing her, emotionally thrashing her, and her eyes were rolled back in her head, and she was drooling, and she was like, ugh, it was awful. And they were all around her. They were completely surrounding her. And then I walked in and I was like, Mom, what are they doing? And they looked over at me and they got mad at me for interrupting. And my mom she had lost her mind. Her eyes, she wasn't there. So she was drooling, her eyes were rolled back and she was swaying. And it was terrible. It was scary. And so I ran away from that group and I went back downstairs. And my cousin came out, a different cousin, and she's like, where do you think you're going? And I said, get away from me. And I started running, and then she had a glass in her hand and she threw it down the stairs at me, and the glass shattered everywhere. And I was like, I looked at her like, are you crazy? And as soon as the glass shattered everywhere, she started screaming. She started screaming and she's like, ow, my face, she threw glass at me. And I was like, liar, you just threw it at me. You just threw it at me. So then I ran. I kept running. I ran and I was like, oh God, I don't even know where I'm going. I don't even know where I'm going. And I said, please God, help me. These people are going to kill me. And I ran out, and all of a sudden, I hit the right door. And I saw ocean. I saw the most beautiful ocean. And I saw the other hotel. So the door that I came through, I could see the ocean, and then I could see that there was the hotel had a pool that was like an infinity edge pool. And the water was so beautiful. The ocean water was so beautiful. And my hotel, like the one that I wanted to be the one I was looking for, had the most beautiful water. And the deck was like I could never afford to stay in a hotel like this. I'm sure there are hotels like this. I'm sure there are. I could never afford to stay in one. It was so pristine, so beautiful. And instead of hearing people splashing around and laughing and ha ha ha, there was nobody there. It was just the hotel, the infinity edge pool, and then the ocean. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. And I knew that water was living water. I knew that the hotel that I was looking for, my place in heaven. Like I want a place in heaven. I want that. And I don't want the Vegas version. And it was so beautiful. And then I kept thinking, where do I go? Where do I go to register? Like, I want a room here. And I knew that there was order. Like, I knew that there was a procedure. I knew that you had to do it in a certain way. You had to be a guest in this hotel. You had to be a registered guest. And I wasn't yet. I was wandering around and I was just so afraid I was going to get kicked out. I was so afraid that security was going to like bounce me. Say, what are you doing here? You're not a registered guest. I wanted to go and register. I was like, how do I register? How do I register? I want to register. This is what I'm looking for. And I knew that water living water was Jesus Christ. And I knew that hotel was heaven. And I knew that I needed to have a proper place. And I knew I needed to be invited. I needed to do whatever I needed to do to have a place there. And the other one was just filthy garbage, and everybody was jam-packed full of people, and I didn't want that. No matter how many times people told me that was the nicest hotel and there was nothing on the other side, I knew there was something on the other side. I had this like map in my head of what it looked like. But when I got there, it was way more beautiful. Way more beautiful than I could have ever imagined. I never could have guessed how gorgeous it was. And then my sister popped up out of nowhere. And she's like, oh, you found the pool. And she ran and she jumped and swam in that gorgeous pool. And I was like, you're going to get us kicked out. And I got really upset with her because you can't just jump in there. Like, we're not invited yet. Like, you can't just jump in there. And so I was mad at her because she's going to get us kicked out. And then I woke up. So from that dream, I recognized that I needed to not be so attached to my husband. Like, it was good that I was wanting to be a good wife, but I needed to be a follower of Christ first. And then I could take care of my husband, but Jesus came first. And I wasn't doing that. In that dream, I could see right away that I should have gone back in and followed Jesus. I should have went back in and asked him for another chance to talk to him. But I got so distracted with my husband and not wanting him to wait when he wasn't. I didn't even know he was coming. I didn't even know he was going to be there. But I left Jesus for him. And I'm not for him, but I had a choice. I could go back in and talk to Jesus, or I could go take care of my husband, and I went to go take care of my husband. And that was a mistake. So I woke up from that dream knowing that I needed to put some distance. That I could love him, but I shouldn't like adore him. If I'm going to adore anybody, it's got to be Jesus Christ. That's it. That's the only one. It's the only person. And then my dream, with the pool is pretty obvious that everybody thinks it's beautiful, but it's filth. And just because everybody's having a good time, if you have spiritual understanding, you can see how filthy everything is. And you don't want any part of it. It doesn't look fun. That pool did not look fun. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not allowed to go in there. I don't want to go in there. I don't want anything to do with that. And then my hotel room, yes, it was very beautiful, but it wasn't home. Like, because I knew this was like going to be our forever home. Like, this was like our vacation, but it was like a vacation retirement. Like, it felt like a forever. Like, this is your room. Yeah, that's what it was. This is your room. This is not my room. It's rotting. It has a facade of beauty, but it is rotting. And then when I found my mom, now looking back on it, I think it's just all of the, evil spirits tormenting her and driving her crazy, all those different things that she gave into. She's completely overwhelmed. And then when I found it, after all that struggle, and I tried to find it on my own, and I couldn't find it on my own. It wasn't until I said, oh God, please help me, because I was running and I was scared, because those things that drove my mom crazy were coming after me. They were coming after me. And they knew that hotel. I didn't know it. I did not know my way around there. I'd never been there before. So yeah, so I woke up and I thought that dream was very special to me. That was 15 years ago, 14 years ago. And I decided to make the break off, but I didn't. Because then so that dream was a warning for what was to come. And I needed to go. I needed to not chase my husband, and I needed to go follow Christ, and I didn't. In that dream, I failed. And then in real life, after everything happened, after that dream, I failed again. So I'll tell you that part if you're interested. I hope this was for the honor and the glory of my Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.